getting in a physical fight with your own boyfriend just because you don't want to come out, and also having your boyfriend being punched by your friends, like that just seems a bit too much. Well, hello there, welcome to my channel where we learn how to go unnoticed, because why would you want to have your existence acknowledged ever? No, not me. Thank you. I'm gonna be talking about one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie, which is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. If you don't remember, this movie is mostly about Charlie, who just started high school and is going through all these new experiences of making new friends, trying to fit in, you know, the typical troubles of going through your teenage years, as well as processing some trauma because he was abused when he was a kid. So I was 20 when this movie came out. I went to the cinema, I watched it, I got obsessed with it. Then I bought the DVD, went home, watched it 11 times in a single week without even questioning it. I was just doing it. And then by the end of the week, I watched, you know, because the DVD had like a different section with the commentary from the director and the actors. So then I watched that. And they were saying how this movie and the book had a huge impact on the LGBTQ plus community. And I was like super shocked about it. I was like, what? Why? What does that mean? Does it mean that I like it because I'm gay? And it's like, oh my god, what did you think? That you liked it because Emma Watson was in there? Just because you admire someone doesn't mean that you're in love with them. But yeah, in my defense, what went through my mind back then was like, I don't see myself in the gay characters. Like, I don't relate to them much. Like, I don't see myself in Patrick or in Brad. The thing is, Patrick was this very outgoing, super extroverted gay guy who was quite accepted by the school, couldn't give two shits about what people thought of him. And then there was Brad, who was this popular jock, part of the football team, with his hegemonic masculinity, super scared of coming out of the closet, with a religious family. And in a way, I guess I had much more things in common with Brad, because he was scared of coming out of the closet and because of his religious family. Other than that, I obviously wasn't a jock. If anything, I was like a scarecrow without the filling, you know, the hay. I was just like a broomstick with clothes on. I guess it was interesting to see other types of gays' experiences, but that didn't explain why I was so obsessed with the movie. Maybe let's just go through some parts of the movie so that I can explain to you how I relate to it so much as a gay man.
Why didn't you raise your hand? They call you the teacher's pet, freak, that kind of thing. I used to get spaz. I mean, come on, spaz.
So yeah, if you haven't guessed yet, the character that I related the most to is Charlie. And to be fair, his character is super relatable to a lot of people. You know, everyone who's coming of age and anyone who's experienced any of the things that he's gone through, you know, PTSD, mental health issues. But being a closeted gay sort of molded my personality in a very similar way than Charlie's personality. I was very much into books. I was studying the whole time, trying to get the highest grades possible, mostly because I was trying to compensate for feeling like such an absolute horrible person. But I've also heard tons of people from the LGBTQ plus community saying that they've gone through the same thing because they just wanted to avoid thinking of reality and just focus on their studies and just not think about their everyday life.
Oh.
Charlie, I need you to promise that you're not going to say anything to anyone about me and Brad.
Have a little secret. Agreed.
I look forward to that big talk.
I remember watching this scene and thinking, oh my god, Charlie's so nice for reacting like this and like joking. But at the same time, I saw myself in Charlie, and I was thinking, if I was straight, I would react the exact same way. I would not be judging someone for their sexual orientation at all, ever. But then at the same time, I was horrible to myself. I always wonder that, why is it that I can't be just as nice as I am with everyone else to myself? And Charlie's super like that. He's just constantly being super innocent, thinking that everyone's nice, always putting everyone before him.
Raise your glasses to Charlie. We just want to toast our new friend. You see things and you understand. You're a wallflower.
The way that Patrick's saying you see things and you understand, you're a wallflower. I'm gonna sound like such a douche for saying this, but it is true. I was exactly like this to the T. I was so scared of being out that I would just observe everyone and like compare myself and try to understand what was going on, why was I like this. Like I was super introspective. And then once with my school, we went to a retreat. And I remember that we're asking all these questions about ourselves, and I just kept answering them super easily. My straight cis male friends were like, bro, how do you know all these things? It's just like, it seems like you're thinking of this the whole time. And I'm like, yes, that's me. That's what I do all day, every day. I'm just constantly trying to figure out what's wrong with myself. Why am I like this? Why am I different to you? Also, I was doing conversion therapy back then, which meant that I was constantly analyzing everything and documenting it. So, yes.
I just want to make sure that the first person who kisses you loves you. Okay?
Just a side note on this scene, like I really loved Charlie's and Sam's relationship, but it could be quite problematic because she is supposed to be 18, he's supposed to be 14, something like that. But it doesn't look like there's a big age gap, and I think that's because the actors are actually pretty much the same age. They're only a year apart. Like right now, Emma Watson is 33 and Logan Lerman is 32. I kind of ship them, but then in the storyline, in the movie, it's quite creepy. The way that he was dissociating and feeling like all these memories were coming back and he couldn't control it. I was so drawn to these parts, but I couldn't really tell why. And then in time I realized that it was resonating a lot because I was having panic attacks every year by that time. I'm not saying that it's the same thing, but the way that it was portrayed in the movie, it made me really feel like it was very similar. Just for what I was watching. Still to this day, I struggle to explain what those panic attacks looked like or what they were. It was basically, yeah, like losing control over your thoughts, being afraid of where those thoughts would take you, and feeling like your brain was giving you access to some parts of it that you didn't know you had. I don't know, it was super trippy, super trippy. All of that while also being completely out of breath.
Say that shit again! Say that shit again! Patrick!
And Brad, what the hell? Like, I'm trying not to judge him because he's suffering from internalized homophobia. But yeah, taking it as far as getting in a physical fight with your own boyfriend just because you don't want to come out. And also having your boyfriend being punched by your friends, like that just seems a bit too much. Too much. And then the scenes at the end where everyone's leaving and he's losing his mind and he really can't control himself. You know, he's saying that things are getting worse as if it's completely out of his control. It's quite relatable again to those panic attacks, I think, because for me those panic attacks were a way that my body was telling me this needs to stop. You cannot keep hating yourself this much. You need to seek help. You need to accept yourself. You need to do something to stop this because I cannot keep going like this. And it's like the same way that Charlie's memories were coming back to him so that he can finally process them.
What about your Aunt Helen? You said some things about her in your sleep.
I don't care.
If you want to get better, you have to.
And he has to admit to himself that he's been a and he has to admit to other people that he's been a which I cannot imagine how hard that must be. But at the same time, I felt again so drawn to these scenes, and it only makes sense because for me, I think what I was seeing is how I really needed to come out and tell people about my secret, what I was so ashamed of. And again, it's a different thing, okay? It's not the same thing, but I was looking at it from my own experience. And that's how I related to it so much. Like, it's so crazy how I was watching this movie over and over again, being like, super moved by Charlie, but being completely clueless about what was it. But anyway, yeah, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I am still obsessed with this movie. It's incredibly touching. But let me know what your experience is with this movie. I'm sure you felt related to it, if not with Charlie, with any of the other characters, because everyone in this movie is super relatable. Let me know in the comments, please. Give it a like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you next time.